So I've been sitting here trying to articulate this for quite a while now, and I'm really struggling to say this with any sort of like clarity. So I'm just going to kind of ramble and come out with it, and hopefully you'll kind of get where I'm coming from. Because I was listening to somebody talking about how they feel about business, and like they were describing this moment that they had when they first realised that business for them isn't transactional. It's about the relationships that you build. And hearing them talking about it, like I was just really resonating because I thought, do you know what? This is so right in my business. And it's kind of how I, as a customer of other people and also as a supplier, like this is how I feel as well. It's about this relationship that you build with your customer. And I think, I'm a business coach, so I have clients. I'm a supplier of business coaching or whatever. But I also have business coaches that I work with. So I'm also a customer. And so I'm trying to find a way to articulate the relationship side of a business coach as opposed to the transactional side, because the transactional side is, yeah, I'm going to help my clients with like the practical side of sales and marketing, how to grow the business, how to create capacity, and I talk a lot on social media about like the problems that they've got. And, I teach this to clients, it's about, identifying who your ideal client is and what problems have they got and what do those problems feel like, and how do we solve them and the result that we're getting, all that kind of stuff. And I think that's great advice and that's brilliant. And, I work with business coaches that tell me the same thing. But there's this other part of that relationship that isn't about the advice, and it's not about, why don't you try this way or this tool or this resource or have you thought about doing. It's not about the strategy or any of that stuff. It's about the relationship that you have with that business coach, and it's a feeling of there's someone in my corner, like there's someone that's for me that's just stood right here. And so I'm working with two business coaches at the moment, and they're both really different. And they're both giving me different things. And like right now, this minute, neither of them are doing anything to help my business. Like, that's not a criticism, but right now, this is Sunday morning. Neither of them are thinking about me. Neither of them are doing anything to help my business grow. They're not acting as my business coach right now. But sat at my desk thinking about work, I'm still getting something from them. I'm still getting value from the money that I've paid them, even though they're not doing anything right now. And that's what I'm trying to articulate, is this feeling of knowing that they're in my corner, and that if I'm struggling with something, it might be something that I need practical advice on, like, I want to do some ads. How do I do that? Like, I know I'm going to get that, but it's something deeper, because like a couple of, maybe a month ago now, I was really struggling with something in my business, and it wasn't the practical side of running a business. It wasn't the businessy stuff. It wasn't like the mechanics of how do I do this or anything like that. It was like a different kind of situation, and I just didn't know what to do about it. And it was kind of a bit personal, and I was like, oh my God, I just don't know what to do about this. But knowing that I could speak to my business coach about it and get some help in making this decision, in deciding what to do, like that was so valuable, about just knowing that she was in my corner. And, this is like a really intangible thing of like feeling that support, like feeling that that person that's like cheerleading you in your business. And I'm thinking about this because I'm thinking about a couple of interactions that I had this week with my clients. I had one client in particular I've worked with for a really long time. We've got a really close relationship, and she was struggling with a decision in her business. And, I've helped her with that decision, and I didn't help her with that decision as part of the group work that she's paid for, and it wasn't as part of a one-to-one that she's paid for. It was like an off-the-record chat on the phone that we had for quite a long time. So it's not part of like what she's bought as the package. And I'm just going to find a message here that she sent me, because I think this kind of sums it up. So we had this conversation. We talked about like what was going on. And let's see, what did she say? She said, oh, so I can't quite read that bit out, but she's written, I actually found myself smiling leaving work today. And I came back and said, what a lovely outcome and ending to the day. And she then wrote back, the best. And the reason I'm highlighting this is because this was just me helping her make a decision because I care about her, because I'm invested in her business and I want to see her well. This wasn't me helping her as her business coach per se. This was me just helping one of my clients that, like, I'm genuinely, I want to see her do well. She was struggling with a decision. I don't want to see her struggling with a decision. And this is what I'm trying to talk about. It's like intangible thing that, like, she's got real good value from that because she knows I was going to be there. She knew she had that support. And it's about, like, when you're working with a business coach, and I know this because my clients tell me this stuff and I feel it, because I work with business coaches, it's this feeling of you can be a little bit braver in how you run your business because you've got this support around you from that person. You can be a bit bolder in the decisions that you're able to make. You can push the boundaries a little bit further because you've got that support. And, you can take some more risks. Like, you can try some stuff out because you've got this, like, safety net, this soft landing where if you fail, like, it's okay because you've got that person there that's going to, like, be there with you through it, that's going to stand beside you and say, yeah, that failed. What did we learn from it? And let's go again. Like I said, it's like soft landing when you fail. And I think that's the intangible thing about working with a business coach. And, if I'm saying to somebody, do you want to spend like 3, 4, 5 grand working with me? I feel like I've got to justify what those thousands of pounds are worth. And I often find myself justifying that spend based on, like, things I can measure. So, like, how much your business is going to grow. How much more leads are you going to get in your business? Because I'm going to help you with your marketing. So you're going to pay me thousands of pounds and I'm going to help you generate more leads in your business. Like, that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to help you with your sales so you close more deals, so you make more money. And I could even go and get some figures if I wanted to. And I could sort of ask my clients how much money they're making and all this kind of stuff. So I could say, I've increased my clients' revenue by 50% or whatever. And I could use all of that as, like, the justification for the thousands of pounds. And that's fine. But I genuinely think that the more valuable thing is this intangible stuff that, like, I can't measure. I can't say what you feeling braver showing up to running your business is worth to you. Because I actually think it's probably worth a hell of a lot more than I'm being paid. It's worth more than the value of what I'm giving. Because I'm putting the value of my package on, like, how much I'm helping you with your sales, your marketing, your growth, creating capacity, all those tangible things. And of course, yeah, they're a massive part of it. But I think the real value comes in this intangible stuff. It comes from having that support and knowing that you're in that position where it isn't just you, and it's not just you sitting there, like, terrified of making the decision or scared to try this new thing out, because that's not the reality for you. And, I know this is true because I'm both supplier and customer. And this is what I'm feeling from the business coaches that I work with. Now, I'm not undermining the tangible benefit of either of the business coaches that I'm currently working with. They're both helping me significantly with the tangible stuff. And that on its own is worth the investment. But I think that the intangible things I'm getting from those business coaches is actually worth way more. And I don't see them talking about it in their marketing. I'm not talking about it in my marketing. I suppose this is my effort here of me talking about it in my marketing, trying to kind of put some words to the value of that. But that's where I think the true valuable is. It's in those intangible things. Like, and what was that worth to you? As a business owner, like, if I could guarantee that you could show up every day to running your business feeling braver, feeling more able to make bold decisions, feeling able to push the boundaries, to try new things, to take more risks. Like, what's the value of that to you? How much is that worth? Because I guarantee that 6 months of working with me, all of that there is worth way more than the price you're going to pay to work with me. And that's before we've even talked about, like, the tangible stuff. I don't know what your thoughts are on this. Have you, if you're working with a good business coach, like, that's what they should be bringing you. That's the feeling that you should be getting from working with them, that you've got this safety net, that you've got this support bubble around you so that you can show up to work differently, so that you can show up to work as, like, that future state you that's running this bigger business that hasn't happened yet, but that person is still showing up to work every day. That's what they should be giving you, because that's what I'm getting, and that's what I'm trying to make sure I give my clients as well. I hope that makes sense.